Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and I'm so glad you could join me today. We're going to have another PowerPC related video. And I think one that's definitely due for another look. Behind me, you can see my PowerMac G5 Quad, the most powerful PowerPC computer Apple ever released, and a machine that really should have relevance today. It addresses 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's got dual 2.5 gigahertz processors, both dual core. Certainly not the powerhouse that it was when it was released, but it's not nothing either. This is a machine that should have relevance. And it does. You can use that machine today. I do. Leopard was an amazing operating system. It, to my mind, was the first of the modern Mac OS systems. Tiger was the last of the OS X systems. I know the OS X numbering continued on for quite a while there, but Tiger left a lot to be desired. Leopard leapt into that and gave us something that we're still reaping the benefits of that today. However, we do have to notice Leopard gets older every year. There are further and further things that stop working in Leopard. The lack of software development, the last time anything was developed and improved specifically for Leopard would be about 2011. So, as we go into the future, how can we keep this machine relevant? The obvious answer is to install Linux. Well, you can go out there, you can see tons of videos of installing Linux on PowerPC machines. Usually these are very outdated versions of Linux that are very limited in what they can do. You will find some that have currently developed versions of Linux for PowerPC, mostly sourced from Debian. Debian does still have a fork out there for PowerPC. But you know, so often those machines are aimed at the real lower end of PowerPC, so they're kind of bare bones operating systems. So, to my mind, there are hopes MorphOS can run on Apple PowerPC machines, but it's very, very limited as to the GPUs it can address. I'm keeping an eye. There is at least the beginnings of Haiku for PowerPC Macs. It's not there yet, but it's at least being thought about. But to my mind, as far as what's being developed today, our greatest possible hope is Fienix OS. Now, those of you who watch this channel frequently will know that I have done a number of videos specifically about Fienix. I installed an earlier version and took a good look at that. I believe it was just last year that the installer for Fienix came out, and I did a video concerning the install. Fienix, we've got to be understanding about Fienix. It's pretty much a one-man show. A guy named Casey Cullen, who, I gotta hand it to the guy, he built his own operating system, and he built it for PowerPC. God bless him. And he still works on it and updates it to this day. The last version that I installed on this machine was Fienix 5.1, which is the first version that had the installer. We now have Fienix 6.0.1, also with an installer, and I think we can take a good look at that, because it looks like there have been a lot of developments with Fienix. It may not be ready to be the successor for Leopard yet, but from what I can see, this is our best opportunity. So if you want to see how Fienix is going, how its development is, please stay tuned. Alright, here we are on the Leopard desktop, and I'll take a quick look about this Mac to see we are in fact about this Mac doesn't understand in Leopard how to identify multiple core processors. So it's telling us that there are 4 2.5 gigahertz PowerPC G5s. There are actually 2 of them, both of which are dual core and are 16 gigabytes of memory. Maybe not a super powerful system by today's standards, but as I said earlier, not nothing. Okay, to see the arrangements that I've made, you might notice here I've got an ISO for MorphOS. That's going to require some playing around with graphics cards to find one that will actually work with MorphOS. At some point, I hope to take a look at that. But I have downloaded the installer for Fienix 6.0.1, and I have used Disk Utility in Leopard to burn it to a DVD-R, and that is important. If you take a look at my video of installing Fienix 5.1, the first version that had an installer, it didn't complete, and I had no idea what was going on. At this point, the Fienix website, which I will link in the description, does in fact give us the information. But I found out really by watching a Michael MJD video where he was, as he so often does, installing something on something, and it wasn't working. His videos are very entertaining that way. But he discovered that the machine he was installing onto was very sensitive about using rewritable media. I had written that 5.1 installer to a DVD-RW, which made sense. There's only so many times that I use DVDs, and to be able to rewrite them sounds good. But that just doesn't work with the Fienix installer, so I did get hold of and have used DVD-Rs, and the next step, I'm going to shut the machine down. We have some arrangements to make, and then once I have made those arrangements, I will restart the machine holding down the C key, if you remember that little trick, to boot into the Fienix installer. So if you are interested in seeing how all that takes place, please stay tuned. Okay, the machine's powered down. I have just powered it back up again, and I'm now holding down the C key. And for those of you, there you hear the chime. For those of you who may not be retro tech enthusiasts, you may not be completely aware that this will cause the machine to boot from optical media, either CD or DVD. This machine actually has a Blu-ray drive in it. All right. Now, if you're wondering, I had mentioned about making dispositions. I decided to take out the drive that had the Fienix 5.1 and put in another drive, a Time Attack 1 terabyte drive that has proven in the past. Okay, here we have our boot screen coming up. Wait to get the apple. Oh, no, we don't get the apple, of course, because we have the Fienix installer. Okay. So, we're now getting it to boot. In any event, I took out the Fienix 5.1 in order to install that. Put in a new Timatec drive. We'll be installing to that. I also, just for the sake of safety, I disconnected the Leopard drive because I really don't want to install over that. All right. I mean, I could have always recovered. That is backed up. Okay, we have English selected. United States is selected. American English is selected. Now we're detecting the hardware to find CD-ROM. So far, this is exactly the same as the Fienix 5.1 installer from my last Fienix video. Okay. All right, loading additional components. And let me throw out, while we're waiting for this, my thanks to Casey Cullen, who has worked so hard in his spare time, as basically a hobby, to give us this operating system. It has steadily improved. All right. Hardware is detected. Eastern time zone. That's good. Okay. All right. Using the entire disk. Huh. There appear to be two Timatec drives selected. Not sure what the other one would be. The 2 terabyte drive is the Time Machine backup drive. Huh. Oh, well, let's take a chance. The other Timatec drive might be the FireWire drive with Tiger installed, but we shall find out. Okay, finish partitioning. So, yes. Okay, this could take some time, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're now installing the base system at 6%. No real clue how long this is going to take, but at least we moved on. So anyhow, stay tuned. Alright, the base system has installed. We're now scanning the installation media. selecting install software. Stuff going on, still stuck at 11%. Well, we'll let this work. Stay tuned. Well, it's proceeding at pace here. We're up to 31% on selecting and installing the software. I haven't actually had to select anything. It's just decided so far. But one of the nice things about this installer is it does give you a visual input as to what's going on, as opposed to your standard Mac OS installer where you just see this apple sitting on a screen with a progress meter. At least here you can see, yes, something is in fact happening. Alright, and we're at 38% now, so stay tuned. Okay, so selecting and installing software is done. Alright, installing Yaboot, that's the boot manager that is used here. That went quickly. And finishing the installation. Running pre-seed. Now, incidentally, this is where if you have used rewritable optical media, you'll get stuck at running pre-seed forever. Hopefully that will not happen here. Stay tuned to find out. Now, if you're doing this at home, you'll notice it's still stuck at 17% running pre-seed. But I can hear the optical drive chugging away there, so clearly it's doing something. Hopefully that will result in something good. Again, stay tuned. I was just about to give up, and because it was running pre-seed 17%, and then bang. Okay, it's just ejected the optical drive. We can remove our DVD. Installation is complete. Time to boot into your system. Be sure to remove the optical disc so that when you, yes, etc. Okay. Okay. Yes, I did have a momentary scare there where it was just sitting there at pre-seed and 17%. All right. So it should just boot into Fienix 6.0.1. At least that's the plan. The optical drive door just closed itself. I had taken the DVD out, and here we go. Looking good. enter your password. I didn't really notice, but that's not good. Said enter your password, but we have to put the username in. Okay, there is an already set up user account with a password, which I have just put in. Okay. Oh yeah, well, it says Fienix is home. Menu. All right. Very different background. It's the same background that you see in the login screen. I'm sure there are different options, but we appear to be into it. Accessories all. Wondering if there's something that can tell us exactly what version of Fienix we're in here. But it's got to be right. Okay. And this appeared to be a web browser. Which we can close. Okay. Tell you what, I'm going to need to explore this some, but we seem to have successfully installed 6.0.1. I wish it would just tell me that that's what was installed. Let me poke around a bit and then we'll come back with some final thoughts. Stay tuned. Well, I've been working with this and, you know, I have got it working. There are issues, but then again, I'm far from an expert on this, so I'm going to call a video at this point. It's a success. Fienix 6 is installed. The installer did work. I checked for upgrades in terminal and it seemed to think there were no upgrade packages. I can't find anywhere in here to tell me exactly what version this is. I had assumed it would be 6.0.1 and then I could use terminal to upgrade to 6.0.2, but terminal seemed to think there wasn't anything to upgrade to, so maybe this is 6.0.2. I really don't know. It does work. The web browser works pretty well, but you know, I'm going to continue to work with the system, and we'll see probably in a couple of weeks where we really are with this iteration of Fienix. I'm still very hopeful down the road this could get somewhere. My initial thought, though, is similar to where I was with Fienix 3.0, the first version that I did, then Fienix 5.1. There's simply got to be more software support from outside. Casey's done a phenomenal job with this. But a lot of these applications just don't really work. But I'll get into that kind of thing in more detail in another video. So for now, I think this is going to be it. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. Any good we do for this world has to start from that. we can make this world a better place. It isn't yet, so please take very, very good and careful care. We're going to be going back in the next couple of videos that'll come out, I think, to Mac Pros, both the Test 5, 1. We have a little bit of an update to do. There's nothing major coming up there. And bringing back the 2008 Mac Pro 3, 1 and seeing how it's doing here in the modern world. So, I hope you'll be back when those things are available in the channel, and until they are, this has been Broken Electronics.